Hello, Nigeria. This is Newsline, and I'm Becky Balujemo. We appreciate you for joining the program tonight. We plan to give you a great time this week. An elderly gentleman in Plateau State has written his name in gold. Many Nigerians who heard of how he took a chance on death, trying to save others from dying, have declared him the hero of the now. You would bestow on him same title when you find out the role he played to deserve it. Meanwhile, there is looming disaster for residents of a layout in Lagos. The presence of highly inflammable storage outlets in their immediate environment has them living on the brink of calamity. Can adequate safety be restored to that axis of town? That question defines the report waiting in the wings. Murder in College sounds very much like a thriller, doesn't it? But in this case, it is neither a book nor a movie. It happened for real. The chilling details are contained in our final segment. To set things in motion, we begin with the news by Elizabeth Omori. Over to you, Lizzie.
Okay, it's nice to see you again, and thanks for joining us on the news segment of Newsline. The presidency is reminding Nigerians that the ballot box remains the only constitutional means of changing government, with emphasis on the fact that the days of coups are over. This is in reaction to calls by a group, Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, for a planned revolution protest on Monday, 5th of August, with the aim of bringing about a regime change. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, pointed out the difference between peaceful call to protest, which is said is the inalienable right of all citizens, and incitement for a revolution. Garba Shehu said less than 6 months ago, Nigeria held simultaneous presidential and parliamentary elections, which were won resoundingly by President Muhammadu Buhari and his All Progressives Congress Party, and attested to by a core of international election monitoring missions. The presidency therefore tasks those hiding behind everyday citizens to attain power through undemocratic and violent means to come clean and lead a march in person. Only then, the statement adds, may they begin to have the right to call themselves leaders before the people of Nigeria. In the meantime, Department of State Services has confirmed that Omoyele Sowore, presidential candidate of African Action Congress in the February presidential election set to be coordinating a planned nationwide protest, is in its custody. Spokesman of the service confirmed this to newsmen in Abuja. Francis Form reports.
Sowore and others featured in a viral video urging Nigerians to join a nationwide protest planning for Monday the 5th of August. The Department of State Services, whose responsibility is to manage, curtail, contain, and eliminate threats against national security, confirmed his arrest early Sunday morning, warning groups who may want to disrupt the peace of the country to have a rethink.
Sowore is with us so that we can do the needful. DSS will not idle by, stand by, and watch people, self-serving people take laws into their hands. We will do all that is within the law to discharge our responsibility.
The Nigeria police had earlier issued a statement warning the organizers and sympathizers of the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy group to desist from their planned protest, demonstration, and proposed revolution march. Similarly, leadership of the organized labor dissociated itself from such planned protests. DSS asked Nigerians to go about their lawful business without fear of intimidation or harassment by any group of persons. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the body of the Director of Finance of the FCT High Court, the victim of the last Friday Galadimawa flood, has been recovered at the riverbank behind the China Chamber of Commerce along Airport Road. Correspondent Ilyasu Onotu Yakubo has details.
The search team resumed operation at the Galadimawa point of the incident as early as 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Diligently, the team, comprising personnel of NEMA, FCT Emergency Management Agency, operatives of the Civil Defense Corps, and local divers, combed through the bushes along the bank of the river towards Lugbe at the airport road. At about 12 noon, Information got to the team that the advance team had found the body of the victim at a farm along the bank of the river behind the China Chamber of Commerce towards Airport Road. The body was immediately transported to the Asokoro District Hospital mortuary, where family, friends, and colleagues were seen wailing uncontrollably.
It's a natural disaster, but we as a government will do our best to reduce the incidences. May his soul rest in peace once more.
Let me commend all the rescue workers, including the security agencies, who have been very supportive in this task.
The FCT Permanent Secretary and the Director General of FEMA advised residents to be cautious of distress situations, especially during rainy season, to prevent unforeseen circumstances. In Abuja, Eliasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
And also safety, sequel to the prompt intervention of the 2018 floods disaster by the National Emergency Management Agency, the United States Department of Agriculture has extended training to response units of the national and state emergency management agencies across the country. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that the training is to further consolidate on the gains of the 2018 floods response.
2018 floods disaster may have ravaged about 34 states, with 9 states under a state of a national disaster. But the prompt intervention by NEMA is said to have reduced the number of casualties by more than 40% compared to that of 2012 disaster. These achievements were recorded due to the high level of training and retraining of NEMA staff on response and intervention. The training is geared towards enriching the response units of the two agencies to make them proactive in responding to disaster-related matters.
With this knowledge, I can be able to impact a lot, and so many lives are going to be safe. The training is really very rich.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Mehadja, promised to make the 2019 flood intervention more proactive.
We have really benefited from this training in 2018 flood. We didn't envisage we will have such kind of devastating flood situation, but the moment it happened, it came to the thought of the management to deploy those trained, and they performed wonderfully on site.
It's a baseline or foundation training, teaching students the principles and the basic organization of the incident command system and how it works on disasters.
A simulation exercise on the intervention was displayed in readiness for any eventuality. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Let's now talk security. The Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna Major General Adeni Oyebode, has reassured Nigerians that the military is up to the task of ending banditry and other criminalities across the country, as directed by President Muhammadu Buhari. The Commandant gave the assurance at the Camp Highland Battle inoculation for the Nigerian Defense Academy cadets held at the Nigerian Army Training Center, Kontagora, Niger State. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo reports.
It is not a war, but training exercises of the military cadets to expose them to the conventional warfare in different terrain so as to be able to confront the contemporary security challenges in the country. The 631 cadets, 46 female inclusive, completed their training at the Nigerian Army Training Area, Kontagora. The training marks the end of all the training exercises of the cadets who are expected to be commissioned in October this year. The Commander, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General Adeni Oyebode, while commending President Muhammadu Buhari for his support to the NDA, assured Nigerians that the cadets have been adequately trained to be able to carry out tactical operations after commission.
We have introduced counter-insurgency training, counter-terrorism training, anti-banditry, anti-kidnapping, and search and rescue, and all the likes, including, of course, the conventional training.
Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello says it has become necessary to partner the armed forces to secure forests across the state.
State government will partner with any service that wants to conduct extensive military exercises in Niger State.
The guests of honor and some other civilians were put to test in a novelty shooting to understand what the military goes through during warfare.
The event marked the end of the 2 weeks training engagement of the cadets at the Nigerian Army Training Area, Kontagora. Mukhtar Abubakaru, NTA News.
Anyway, from security, the quest to improve agricultural productivity is gaining more momentum, with more products and methods being introduced to make it attractive to Nigerian youths. To this end, a meeting was held between the Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Uzokalu, Federal Minister of Agriculture, and national leadership of the Radio, Television and Theatre Arts Workers Union, RATAO. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Federal government's program to ensure food security and representation of the Nigerian farm produce to the world food markets was a reason for the sharing of ideas between the stakeholders. It is with a view to produce a reality television show on NTA Star Times platform as regards to agriculture, a major source of employment. With the theme Hope for Niger, the television reality show will be public-private driven.
This, we believe, is the right decision, and we are the right people.
It's about taking opportunity and hope back to the streets of Nigeria so that our people will go back to preparation.
The project tends to showcase the actual living condition and farms management by hundreds of youth to be nominated for the program.
The land we have is our strength. We should go back. Everywhere should be food in Nigeria.
It will help us not only to produce a bill backing you, but to raise motions that will fast-track this thing you are talking about.
The project is officially promoted by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to provide 10 million jobs in 10 years. It is in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education, Federal Ministry of Sports, Radio, Television and Theatre Arts Workers Union RATAO, and NTA Star Times Network, amongst others. Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Now to sports. Manchester City clinched 6th FA Community Shield. Kene Imagudi brings us more on sports updates.
Presti Inji is confident of winning more titles on the African Golf Tour after he sealed a